What is up, guys? Welcome to Becoming the 1% podcast. My guest today is Tristan Hamm. Man, I don't even know what subject to pick for the title of this episode. We talk about outdoor living and adventure. We talk about professional fighting. We talk about social media. We talk about brand awareness. You guys are going to really dig this episode. At least I did. It was a very, very fun conversation. Have fun. This episode of Becoming the 1% podcast. Entrepreneurial.
We got some really big things coming.
You have to have the willingness.
It's an A or B.
Try and use it as a tool.
This is phenomenal.
All details make up a person.
It's what we believe in the industry.
What is your training environment? Like I've seen it on your IG. Where do you currently work out?
I train, well, right now I train here. I'm training here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's wherever the job's taking me, right? Like I took a couple years off from lifting in general. I mean, I was big into lifting. I did bodybuilding when I was younger.
Yeah. I've seen some of your old, in prep for this, I saw some of your old YouTube videos, evidently when you were power, really lifting.
Yeah, yeah.
What, was there a transition between that when you started really competitively fighting?
Yeah. Well, I took some time off from lifting in general, and I was just trying to be more of an outdoorsman, trying to just lock in and get better at ice climbing, rock climbing, just focusing on that kind of stuff. And so just the movements were more around physical therapy type stuff.
Yeah.
So I had some major knee issues. Are we recording right now? Are we already rolling?
Is it rolling?
We can just dive right in. We can just dive in. You know what I mean?
Do it.
Whatever you guys want to talk about. But
real quick before we do, let me get the boring stuff out of the way. So
cool.
Any expression or anything you make, avoid tapping or hitting the table or avoid hitting the microphone. The mic can move. I know you've done Cameron's. It's the exact same mics I think he has. Cool. So you just move with it. And then beyond that, we've got your IG up. Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's great, man.
It's an old one. Damn.
Yeah. What a picture. So anything else you want us to pull up?
Jesus, I did look good. No, just kidding. I don't look like that anymore.
Shredded, man.
Dude, you look shredded.
I don't know. There's a couple good clips. One of my pinned posts is pretty dope.
Up at the top?
Top right. Yeah.
Of IG?
Yeah, that one would be, I've archived over 1,000 posts. Top right.
Ooh, okay. Dude, look at the hair.
This one's dope. I gave away these trailers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is
Really?
what I this is what I fuck with. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, "Oh, how did you get followers and stuff?" I'm like, "I just like to give back." You know what I mean? And so I called up this brand, Black Series. I'm like, "Yo, you guys want to do something super rad and give away 2 trailers?" But the problem in the US is if you give away something, they have to pay the taxes because it collects as income tax.
Oh.
So these trailers are fully decked out and fully built out. They're worth about 150 grand each.
I was about to say, wow.
So imagine I just slap you an invoice from the government for 150 grand worth of taxes.
You got to pay. Yeah.
I just screwed you so hard,
40%.
So that's kind of the bad thing about giving stuff away. But I was able to actually collaborate with these brands and I put some of my own money into it, and we literally paid for their taxes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it literally was a gift, 100% a gift.
Fully outfitted.
Wow.
And
and have you used the Black Series yourself? I mean, you're such a huge outdoorsman. Is that what you use?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, the Black Series is legit. It's full long travel suspension, air ride.
Is that what you recommend to anybody who wants to kind of get into that?
Anybody trying to get in, I just recommend just going to Walmart and give a $50 sleeping mat, you know what I mean? Throw it in your car and fold the seats down and suffer with that for a while before you level up. But if someone's got stupid money, they're trying to build something like this, get a Black Series, you know what I mean? I'm actually designing something with them right now. You're going to like it, and I should get you involved in it because we're actually building a custom Black Series that's going to have a drop down at the back, and it's a full gym in the back of it. So in the front, you can live, and then in the back is just full workout stuff.
Oh, dude, I can wrap my head around that.
You need some content out of that.
Yeah, I took my girlfriend up to Yukon, where my family's at, and through into Alaska, all with my teardrop trailer, which is a lot smaller. And she's trying to train the whole way up, and I'm like, she's like, oh, I can only do so much with a ruck pack or whatever, and weights. It's I wish we had an actual facility or something we can go to every time, but we're in the middle of nowhere. She's like, what if we bolted on a rack on the side of the trailer? I'm like,
you're kind of on something there.
Might have something. There's this company, I forget what it's called. They make these trailers where all the doors open and shit, and then it's and
it becomes one. I was about to say, I've seen something right along this line. I'm not exactly sure the name of the company.
I think they're called Beaver Fit or something like that.
Can you see, Jake, if it? I don't even know what to. I suppose you could do portable trailer.
I'm a little worried to Google Beaver Fit, but
actually, we definitely need to Google Beaver Fit right now. Clean Beaver Fit.
It's such an interesting concept, though. It seems like it would have immediate practical application because
Oh no! Don't do clean meat. I was kidding.
anybody
I was joking.
Anybody who's taking the time and the money to invest in one of these things and go on an outdoors trip, they're going to be fit people. They're going to want a place to lift weights.
If I just nailed this is amazing. I nailed
No,
it. Yeah, it is. No, it is it.
yeah,
Yep.
More
No, it is.
container gyms.
Wait, there's their container gyms, but they have the trailers. I swear, or maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, this is like a shipping container.
yeah. See, there it is. Look at it. Okay, to the top right.
Oh.
See, like there's like the Explore yellow button.
Oh,
Boom. See 'em?
bro. Oh,
Yeah.
bro. Oh, it's like you hitch it. It's just hitched to your truck.
Yeah. So I was at this Gymshark event and they had one, and I was like, "Yo, these are sick," and
look
everyone
at
was using it at
those.
Gymshark. Yeah.
Yes.
Beaver Fit. What a name. Why?
Yeah.
I want to know why. Why would you call it? I mean, maybe the guy's name is Beaver or something.
Pretty sure they're all built like all USA built stuff, so it's like really solid and it's cool. I mean, like,
Those are legit.
But you ain't gonna live in that in Alaska. So like the Black Series trailer, you can take it all the way up to Alaska, and then you have like a mini version of that in the back. That's kind of what I want.
And you want to make them into one thing.
Yeah.
Because it would be tough to haul both of those.
Yeah, here,
like
actually-
one behind the other.
I actually can show you some of the designs. I'm like not kidding actually.
Are you actually kind of along the way with this? Do you have
bro,
specs and stuff?
I have everything.
Oh.
yeah, they're making it right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, does anyone know about this?
No.
That's great.
So we launched this fitness company and physical therapy type company.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to give one away. So I kind of like I did the other trailers. I want to give one of these away.
Oh.
So it's kind of a secret, but now it's out of the bag. So.
Oh, well, dude, it's perfect.
Let's
And
see
you could make it.
Oh, I don't
you
have
can
service in here
design
right now.
it. Oh, go on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Where is
here
it?
I'll get it to you.
Here, I'll just slide my phone.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say. I'll get it. Yeah, if you're not on the Wi-Fi in here, it's an absolute dead zone.
So where am I? Okay, so there's one camera. That's the camera.
How many cameras do we have in here now? Like 7, 8, including the fisheye.
6. We're at 6.
Here you go, bro. Ready? Yeah.
That was clean.
Athlete.
I hope you got
Athlete.
that on the fisheye.
Athlete. Yeah.
That was actually fire. Like the way it connected, and when you have these headphones on, you feel like you're in a portal.
Made a
And
noise.
this room makes it way crazier.
Isn't the whole place just kind of like a giant energy sphere? Like,
No,
it's
it's-
like
It's got like Joe Rogan vibes.
I love
Totally,
that.
I like it.
I like that. See, this is the kind of podcasting we need to be doing.
Yeah. All right. So wait,
No,
let's see.
I'm actually we've been presented more ideas on this thing than I can even tell you, bro. This is the coolest thing anybody's ever told us that they're doing. I'm
Oh,
serious.
the trailers?
Yes, the
Yeah.
trailers.
Oh, bro.
It's perfect because your demographic of people who are going to be buying this trailer,
Scroll through this.
they are going to be somebody who cares about this.
Yeah.
If you were just hooking this up to a traditional mobile home,
So like the interior's like top
Oh,
luxury,
that's
bro.
cool.
Like a
You see
bed,
it?
like it's like a bed, kitchen, bathroom, shower, laundry, everything, right?
I wonder if there's a way for us to put this on the screen. Let me. Can I put it on the screen?
If you can try to figure it out, sure.
it'd be
Don't,
just-
just don't click photos.
No. It's just. I think it.
We're all fucked.
What are we on the podcast?
Because she's coming from my head after that.
Boom.
Mm.
Is it working or is it being weird? Of course, it's being weird. This is why we podcast. Nothing ever happens right the first time.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay. All right. Never mind.
Well, I can screen record it.
Either
and you
way.
can put it on later. How about that?
Exactly.
I'll just do that.
Can
We'll
you
screen
can you reattach it? Let's do it again. Hat
All
trick
right.
coming at you.
But did you look at it?
Yeah, I looked at it. It
Okay,
looks
cool.
incredible.
You can see it. It's like
Yeah, dude.
it's like
That's gonna have instant market credibility
Wow.
too. Especially given your background, you are literally the
That is
perfect
so
person to
cool.
rep this.
yeah.
You're
And
the
so
perfect person to rep
it'd be
this.
like super inconvenient to have all this heavy weight equipment in there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what we have it designed to do is like the back door is actually like a closet space. So that's where all your gear goes in.
Okay.
And then if you want to lift and you want your gear there, it's in there. And if you don't want it there, you can take it all out, put it in your house, and you can use it for storage.
Storage.
Yep.
Yeah. What are you gonna have in this thing? I mean, just schematic from the outside: dumbbells, rack, barbell,
Yeah,
plates.
it'll have a fold out aluminum, like a custom aluminum rack in the
Mm-hmm.
back for weight. Because like in a trailer, you want all the weight in the front of the tongue, right, of the trailer.
Mm.
You kind of have it leaning like that. It's the best. Otherwise, you're like all over the road and it's scary as hell.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Especially when you're pulling in a Ford Raptor like me, which is not a good idea. Slipping gears and shit all over the place. But yeah, so then foldable rack, but then there'll be a second rack. Actually, there's this other rack company, I forget the name of it, but it hooks to like the back of your hitch, and it's kind of like a freestanding rack, so you can have like 2 people going at a time.
Wow.
So you can have your girl over there like a little bit lighter, and then you over here a little heavier with the rack or whatever, depending who your girl is.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then you and then the inside you got the bench, and then you have like dumbbells. Actually, the dumbbells are in drawers in the front, so in the front it's just weight distribution.
Adjustable dumbbells?
No, they're just like legitimate like Rogue.
You're gonna have a full line of Rogue.
Yeah, dumbbells.
Like urethane
and
dumbbells
plates.
in there.
Yep.
Wow.
You'll be able to squat 1,000 pounds. So we'll have all that in the front. So there's these big drawers we designed that are you pull out the side drawers, and then all the weights are like perfectly organized in there.
Yeah, if you need anything as far as equipment selection, if you're looking for a way to optimize space, or like I got you,
Bro, we got to do some sick mural.
Do.
We need to do some sick mural inside like the compartment area.
We could do that too.
The
That'd be
wrap
fire.
company too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The company that did these, so like the wrap and everything you see in there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
They can do everything. They're called Wrap Sesh. They do
Okay,
all
cool.
of our stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
so you
sick.
could make it.
Do like some kind of adventure vibe. Something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You could make it. You could give it flair beyond belief. This
Yeah.
is a great idea. Where did you come up with this? Like, how did you come up with this?
It literally was that trip to Alaska.
Just the trip to Alaska.
Yeah, it was like, well, I wonder how many people did this. And when we got back from the trip, we went to a Gymshark event, and then they had one of these trailers, and then our gear started flowing. We're like, imagine if we just took that and that and that and
Put them together.
we're good.
Yeah.
And I talked to the owner. I was like, can we do it? He's like, yeah. If you want to design it, I'm like, yeah, let's go. So
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see what it does.
Hell yeah.
So backing up and changing gears a little
Yep.
bit, how exactly did you find yourself in this space? I'm specifically talking
Yeah.
about the adventure seeker. Like your brand is
Yeah.
really shaped around that. How did that get started for you?
So I started a adventure experiences company called Revived Outdoors. So the whole situation there was I love taking my friends on these different trips and stuff like that. So Hawaii, Utah, Alaska, Arizona, Yukon, like British Columbia, Alberta, like anywhere that I was at, I would have my buddies and I just go send it with them. And every single friend was like, why don't you like turn this into a business? Like let us pay for stuff. And I was kind of like funding these little things with my friends. Like some friends would chip in, but I'd always go over. So I was like, well, these things are getting expensive. You guys should start chipping in a little bit more. So then they did. And then the model was already there. They were like, my friends just encouraged me to do it, you know? So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try like a trip or two for like, just like, I'll just hire guides. I'll put the trip together and then we'll do something cool in like California. Right. And boom, it just blew up like in a matter of weeks, literally.
Yeah.
Like everyone was just having an amazing experience. Everything was great. And then, you know, it was like still really affordable trips. They were like $300 a person, like just little gatherings, get-togethers, but it blew up. Like word on the street hit. So again, like a lot of people that they weren't in the adventure space, right? They were just people that always seen this stuff on Instagram before Instagram really started blowing up, like in 2018. So like this was like more like 2015, 2016. So people were like seeing these videos of like Jay Alvarez and these people like travel photographers and videographers and influencers doing all this crazy shit, and they don't know how to do that. They would want to do that. And so I'm like, well, why don't we start promoting this on Instagram, get it a little bit bigger, and then just again, like I hit it at the right moment. Like Instagram was popping at the time. No one really understood how to do it. I kind of figured it out, and it just grew really fast. And so I started doing all these different little events, and then I didn't really know how to breach the gap from like $300 trips to like $3,000 trips. That was like really challenging. But what I just realized is just the demographic. You know, I was like a young entrepreneur. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had a background in the pipelines, but I didn't really have a background in business. So I was just learning as I go, and just slowly figured it out, slowly weeded out the demographic of people that would be complaining about little things, and started focusing more on the people that were just very grateful to be a part of the experience, and just doubled down on what those people needed in their lives. And so I found out that people needed to be revived. And so that's where I came up with that name, Revived. That was before everybody named their companies Revived. So now
It does
literally
seem to be common now.
every company I've heard of is called Revived now, or actually very few with a D. It's just without the D.
Revive, yeah.
But we have like all the legals in place for the D. So
Yeah. Good for you,
the
man.
legals for the D.
Yeah. What would you say, if any, what is the focal point of these adventures? I mean, it's obviously I've seen snowboarding, skiing,
Yeah.
I've seen you doing some stuff, mountain climbing.
Yeah.
What exactly is there any one trip that's the same as another, or are they all individual?
Well, my philosophy is just like getting out and doing things in general. It doesn't really matter what you do or who you're doing it, as long as you're doing it with somebody good or you're doing it for a good purpose. Like that's my thing. So I always tell people, like, if you want to go like I don't know, backcountry snowboarding out of a helicopter. You know, that's like some Shaun White type shit, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Shaun White, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. But you know, that shit's crazy, right? But you can still go in a helicopter and go snowboarding on like a green level hill, you know, and it's the same freaking experience, you know?
Yeah.
But as you get better at something, you're always trying to get a little bit better, like, you know, marginal gains, right? So I just developed the trips to kind of hone in on giving people like a piece of the pie of like the GoPro highlight reel in the adventure, but focusing more on like connecting people in general. Because at the end of the day, we're all looking for something a little bit deeper inside. We all want to feel. We're all humans. We want to feel. We want to understand why we're on this rock floating in the middle of nowhere. And it's nice to have a group of people that kind of think the same way and are kind of try to figure it out as well. And you're just doing cool shit and breaking through barriers.
You're in nature, and nature's so healing all by itself.
Yep. And you go home, you've just revived, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep.
It's such a simple idea that can impact so many different people. I love that because it's universal. It doesn't matter who somebody is. They can all benefit from something like this.
Yep.
And that's one of the things, really one of the only things I can think of that we all have in common is that we're all going through something. We all need areas where we got to get revived. We got to get healing. We got to figure out a way to build community. How many times, I mean, it's got to be such an incredible community builder, such an incredible networking event to go on something like this. How long do these adventures typically go?
Well, so I actually stopped running the trips, so I'm not running them anymore.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah. So I hit it. I got in and got out at the right time for that business model.
Yeah.
So 2020, everybody started like doing these things, right? Everyone started running their own little retreats. Influencers started seeing this stuff go on, and other companies started coming in, like Airbnb Adventures, who actually tried to buy us out. Multiple things happened right before COVID hit. And when COVID hit, I was like out. But and I just I realized that social media has an ability to like I can still have my purpose and actually make a lot more money by just being myself online than you know, actually physically trying to be at 200 trips a year. You know what I mean? Which is impossible. But
that is an interesting point.
Yeah.
That's an important point. And that's something that as we maybe this has been your experience as well, as you interact with more and more people that are in the quote influencer sphere, you do find that there's quite a discrepancy between the people who are doing what they actually want to do and who they are. They're being genuine, and people who are not.
Oh yeah.
You've got a lot of fake actors out there. You've got a lot of caricatures who are putting on a persona because they think that's what gets them likes or gets them views.
Yeah.
You're somebody with, you know, a 2 million Instagram page.
Yeah.
You know, how did you scale to such a level?
Yeah.
And was there ever a temptation to do something that was, hey, let me do this, it may be a little gimmicky,
Just for the
it's not me?
likes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, there's like all sorts of different gimmicks, right? Like everybody's pulling some kind of weird thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like look at any business like TV, Hollywood, the way they market things. Like if you really look at the nitty gritty of this shit, like, you know, the more you spend, the more you're going to get out of it, right? So a lot of people are like spending all sorts of weird things on advertisements, just different things to kind of try to spike it, right? The hardest thing is figuring out how can I deliver like a high amount of value, right? Because now we have like a favoritism on social media, which is if you can create something that makes people want to share it, it's going to do good. You just have to be able to capture their attention within 3 to 4 seconds, hook them, and then give them something that's like really, really, really going to like give them value, that they're like, oh my God, I got to do this, or oh my God, I got to send this to somebody.
Yeah.
In the adventure space, I get a lot of hate about it because everyone's like trying to grow on adventures and they just post in their same old rock climbing pictures or like the same old stuff. And a lot of people in fitness do the same thing. They just post the same lift over and over. And how many times are you going to watch somebody do the same lift over and over and over? Unless the algorithm is like just 100% focused on you, where there's these anomalies where these people like just get massive amount of traction, like Lean Buff Patty, who's just like blessed by the algorithm, and she can post like a goofy selfie, and
she is a weird one. Like I've seen her page, and I'm like, how is this happening?
But there's a
for her?
demographic. Yeah, it's a demographic. It's actually really cool because there's like the younger generation, right? And they're coming in, Gen Z or even younger. It was a Gen A. Is that right?
Is that the next one?
Is it Gen A?
I don't even know.
Come on,
You're
somebody get
looking
it.
at me.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I think you're right. I think it's Gen Alpha is like that's like the TikTok.
Yeah.
The TikTok one, the ones
Yeah.
that are
The next one after Gen Z.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I gotta tell you guys this. Okay, so this is a really cool story, by the way, and I'll get back to what I was saying in a second. So There's this guy, his name is Isaac. He came up to me at the gym in Whitehorse in my house, or at my house where my family's at.
Yeah.
In Whitehorse, Yukon, at the gym. And he's like, hey bro, like I follow you on Instagram, like your page is so inspiring. I love it. Like I want to do it. Like how can I do it? And I've had this question 1,000 times. And I'm like, bro, like literally the algorithm is favoring people like you right now. Just post a lot. Like the race of the upload button, be consistent, follow some of the trends, and just give some value. Find what it is that you personally love and just do it. Like just forget about anything. And I gave him a couple little tips, right? I just said, just don't worry about all this crazy things. If I do this, if I do that, I need to do that. That YouTube video said that. Progressively grow, like in here, like progressively get a little bit better at everything, but just don't overthink it. Just post content and make sure you're giving good stuff, interesting stuff, make things funny, make things weird, like get someone's attention.
Oh, yeah.
So he does this shit. And after my first fight in January, he hits me back and he's like, hey bro, how you been? Like, da-da-da. I'm like, who's this guy? You know, this verified account. I'm like, what the hell? This fool's got 400,000 followers. I'm like, and his engagement's mad, like hundreds of thousands of likes. I'm like, yo, what happened? I'm like, you're the same guy from the gym? He's like, yeah, bro, I started with 0 followers. I'm like, that was like 3 months ago.
What?
He's like, yeah, I just did everything you said and it worked. I'm like,
what?
I'm like, okay. You on other platforms? He's like, not yet. I'm like, well, get on Snapchat, get on YouTube, get on this, and then check back with me. Comes back like 2 weeks later, verified on Snapchat, like everything, dude. Like he's getting millions of views on Snapchat. YouTube's popping off. Like everything's perfect, and it's nothing crazy. It's just
and
simple.
he's a gym bro. He's a guy in fitness.
No, he likes fitness, so he's injecting that a little bit into his content. But he's a motorcycle guy. Like he likes to ride sport bikes. So he makes these like interesting videos where like people approach him at the gas station and they're like pissed off at him, and he's like, "What's going on? Like, why are you pissed off at me?" And then he like fucks off on his bike and like, you know what I mean? It's just stupid stuff, but it's kind of, some of it's I think staged, some of it I think's real, but
it's edgy enough to where people are sharing it.
It pops, and it blows up. It's like that, and that's that Gen A audience for sure, you know. So he's got to figure out now, how do you capitalize on that, which is the tough part. But going back to my stuff, I realized right away, like, okay, if I want to have, I genuinely am on this because I just like to share my life. That was why I was on it. But the second it started becoming a job, it's just like, it's the last thing I want to do. And I get like anxiety when I make a post. Like, I'm like, this is stupid. I don't even want to do this anymore, you know?
You're right, yeah.
But then I remember like all the people that reach out to me, like him, and his life's completely changed. He's traveling all over America, all over Canada. He's going to Europe. He's going to come up to my fight in the United Kingdom in 15 days. And
man.
he's just fired up, you know what I mean? Like, and so remembering that allows me to remember my purpose. So then I can like just make sure I inject my purpose into every video I do. And then just try to like work the algorithm a little bit, depending on what's the trend of the week on the algorithm, to make it pop. So a big thing for me is like, I realized that giveaways were massive. Like if I did like some kind of crazy giveaway, like it would just blow up, right? But the problem with giveaway is that, you know, you get these huge spikes and then huge drops. So then you have, you know, all these people that want in on the giveaway and they don't really understand what it is you do. But in a lot of companies fail, or a lot of people fail because they try to give something away and then the algorithm doesn't really favor them because it's a giveaway and they're trying to like kind of get away from that stuff. But it's like you have this big grand opening at your house and you have all these people in, but then once they're in their shop and they don't like anything, they're going to leave. So as long as you make the giveaways like good, you're going to be able to keep some of the audience. So that was like one of the hacks that I did to help grow big and be able to get my mission out there and my voice out there a lot and help me breach into that 2 million mark, you know?
Yeah.
So like the trailer giveaway, right? Like that generated millions of views. I mean, I posted that for a month, like multiple posts for a month, tens of thousands of comments, like tons of people interacting. There's an opportunity for them to look into the other stuff that I got going on. So yeah, that's kind of like been my flow in it, but I do manage other creators and I help other people out and everybody's different. Like, for example, Steffi Cohen, like what we did for her was like, you're just an expert at fitness. You're an expert in physical therapy. Like you have a doctorate. You know what the hell you're doing. Like better than anyone. You're the GOAT for women in powerlifting. You made powerlifting cool. So why are you going to just do the same lift over and over again? Why don't we like give people value? Why don't we say, hey, stop lifting like this? Because when you lift like that, you're just wrecking your back. Instead, do this, you know, and then give them a quick little thing and boom, like shares out the roof, right?
I've followed her for probably 5 to 6 years. And I remember, I know when that shift started to happen. It's true, because she would just set up a tripod and film herself doing deadlifts over and over and over again. And that was cool because it was impressive. It was like more than I ever deadlifted. But then something happened where she actually said, I'm like, oh, okay, she's actually talking. Interesting. Okay, let's see what she has to say. I can see the spike in her engagement since that happened.
Exactly. So it was like, and it started to like pull people out of their weeds, start getting people to ask questions, which now we understand what it is that they want. They're like, oh, like, when I do that though, my back's pinched. Okay, perfect. So then the next video, we need to do back stuff. That was one of our most viral videos. It got like 7 million views, and not like some fluke viral video where people like post a cute like
Hawk Tua.
Yeah, Hawk Tua. those are crazy.
She's in Scottsdale like tomorrow.
Oh my God.
think. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's great. Hooray.
So it's gonna be lit in Scottsdale tomorrow.
Something. Man.
So but yeah, so basically you can kind of like learn from your audience and figure out what people like. There's a lot of people come up to me and they'll be like, oh hey, like your I had this video that pops off. I'm like, great, let me see it. And they show me it and they're like, well, how else do I do it? Like, I want to have my other videos pop up, and all their other videos are trash. Right. And I'm like, and they're not anything related to the one that popped off. And I'm like, why don't you go back to the one that popped off and do that again and just tweak it a little bit and keep up that momentum. That's the biggest thing.
Something we've really seen act quite prosperous is similar to what you were just saying, utilizing the comments that your audience does, the questions that they have. And we've even taken a tactic where we will literally on story, because we get mad DMs from people all the time. And I told my VA, I'm like, okay, start posting on story and tell the audience, if you want your questions answered, comment them on the page, because we're going to make video content answering you. Stop DMing us, because that gets us nothing. That gets no one anything.
And now DMs are like impossible now because they put them all hidden.
Right.
So you can't DM people. Like, I have so many people that hit me up on DMs and I don't have any
that
DMs.
That shit starts to happen. That is so frustrating.
It was like a few weeks ago where they like put it global. Yeah.
You can't, you really can't. And that entirely
everything
wrecks
goes to, oh yeah.
PR. Yeah. I mean, our PR rep who's doing all the outreach, who found you, is like, dude, I can't, like, what? I got to comment on people's interactions now in order to get their attention. Can't message anybody anymore. That's terrible.
The reason is they have these rules they start putting in so that they can start releasing new products within the platform, right? New features. And so they limit other features so that you'll be more there's a higher chance you're going to try to use this one. So a new one, I don't know if you saw it, is Instagram story comments. So like that's a new thing that's going to happen. Story comments. Yeah.
Oh, people can actually comment
on your story.
So
you can have comments on your story. So just like on a post. So that's like, I mean, people might start noticing it in the next couple weeks, Nice. But think about it. If you want to engage with your video, I can leave a comment now instead of sending a message. So now they're like discouraging the messages by blocking the messages. And now the only option is to fucking comment. You know what I mean? So it's just annoying as hell.
It is.
Maybe you have a personal question. You don't want it commented. But
they want it entirely public. They want it entirely out there. And I guess I get it from a business standpoint, but it is definitely a punch to roll with for those of us who are eating off Instagram or making our living off social media. We're going to have to adapt. And it's nothing that, people like us have had to deal with stuff like that before.
The biggest thing I'll ever give any social media advice is get as many people off the platform as possible. Get them into your own network where you have control over them. So like SMS is like the best way. If you can get them all over to a texting platform, even better. There's a company called community.com. Absolutely incredible. Like, we can actually communicate one-on-one with our followers. Like, and it's literally me messaging, like, hey, how's it going? Like, and they're like, oh, this can't be you. I'm like, no, it's like literally me. Send them a selfie. They're like, oh, what the fuck? They're like, send me another one with my name. It's like tattooed on my forehead. I'm like, what's up, bitch?
That's great.
It's me. And they're like, oh my God, they go ghost. They're all nervous.
But this way, if they change or if the algorithm alters or does something weird, you're right. You've already got them. You've got, it's like an email list, like you're always working on.
Yep. Yeah, no, all those things you got to use a little bit of all of it. Yeah.
Professional fighting.
Yeah.
When?
Boxing.
Yeah, man. When did that come into play for you? And where did that coincide with the adventure? All of that stuff. How did that
That's
come
Le'Veon Bell right there. Yeah, that was a crazy fight.
Former Steelers running back.
Yeah, right? He's massive. He's transitioning to boxing. But so that was May 25th in Houston. That was a crazy fight.
Jeez, bro.
What's up, bitch?
Yeah.
Give me my rematch, bitch. I wanted 2 more rounds.
What did for those of us who didn't see the fight and for those who can't even see it now, what happened with that one?
Well, I'm used to like being out in the outdoors, right? And I have my own little demons inside that I'm fighting, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So, boxing for me is like a way of like releasing myself, you know what I mean? But half of boxing is the promotion, especially in this influencer world, right? That's why we're getting these opportunities for these massive stages with these big TV networks that have millions of views. There's millions of people watching this shit. You know, we hit a viewership record on that. So you have to be entertaining, you know? And so this fight, I'd like, you know, Le'Veon he barely promoted the fight at all. He's used to NFL where they all do everything for him, you know? And that's not this game. This game, you have to promote the fight yourself. You have to sell the tickets. You have to get the views. Yeah. Yep. They rely on that.
Is this why we're seeing such a massive surgence in these YouTubers that are becoming boxers? I mean, the Paul brothers promote their own fights.
Yep.
Mostly because they're really good promoters, not because they're incredible fighters.
So BJ Flores, who built Jake Paul, that's my coach. So he came out of retirement to coach me, which was fire. So like awesome. When I locked in, I was like, the only way I'm going to get into boxing, which is like a high risk, I got a black eye right now, is specifically like if I'm going to have the best team possible. So when I got connected with BJ and he was willing to come out of retirement, coach me full time and move in with me and like literally like dial in, like we're training 2 to 3 times a day, watching film every morning and evening where everything's boxing around the clock. It helps me like kind of, these guys have been boxing in the boxing space since they were kids. You know, I'm 28 years old coming into this thing. So
when did you come into this thing? How old were you?
I just started boxing like 7 months ago, bro.
Whoa.
Really? Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Going on my 3rd fight right now.
Wow.
Yep.
And you just decided to do this.
Yep.
Just because you wanted to.
I was approached by one of Team Paul's guys like 2 years ago. And he's like, would you ever get into boxing? And I was like, it would have to be the perfect team. But I would love to. I mean, like, here's some like video of me like playing around. And right away, he was like, yo, I got to connect you to BJ Flores. And I'm like, nah. And that was like 2 years ago, right? And so then fast forward like over maybe a year after that, I'm a hunter, and I had some one of my hunts got contested, which is ridiculous, but it got contested, and there was some negative press, and I was just like, yo, this is a joke, like this isn't who I am, that who they're portraying me is not who I am, like I'm not a villain, like I care about this world, I'm pro conservation, I have a horse rescue, like what are you guys doing? Like you have this fake idea that I'm promoting hunting and all this. That's not who I am. I'm a nature guy. I don't post my hunts. I do that stuff for me.
Yeah.
And so I was like really upset about that, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, you know what, like if you want to be a villain, then why don't I show who the hell I am then? All right, then let's do it. So that's when I called up BJ Flores. I was like, hey, do you want to coach me? He's like, well, let's go to Vegas and see what's going on. So we flew to Vegas, did some sparring. He liked what he seen. He's like, yep, let's do it. So we locked in, got a place together, and just started training every single day. Had my pro debut in January of this year, and flew out to the United Kingdom to have that fight. Knocked the guy out in less than a minute. Dropped him in the first like 40 seconds, and then knocked him out right after that.
That's great.
Went super viral.
Is that on your page?
Well, it's actually, pull up TikTok. Well, it is actually on my page. It's right there. Yeah, click. Okay. That middle one? Yeah, that's not the viral one, but it's a good angle. You can click it.
Let's see it.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom, bitch.
His lights are going out.
What's up?
Dude,
What's up?
He's asleep.
Good night.
So I know Jake Paul's kind of in the same circle as Juan and Walton. Do you ever bump into him?
I don't actually.
Okay.
I don't. But tell me about him.
Yeah, we had him on the
no shit.
the podcast.
Okay,
he was
word.
one of our first guests.
His dad DJ's legit too.
Oh, word.
DJ and the whole Wanna crew is just outstanding.
Oh, awesome.
Wanna Nation, they're
I'm
great.
gonna have to check out their stuff.
Yeah.
So this guy's name's not Logan Paul because he looks exactly like Logan Paul. So
I thought he was Patty Pendlet from the back.
So like you said, there's all these YouTubers, right, in like the boxing space now, and everybody's transitioning. Here's the knockout right here. Measure, boom, out, uppercut, finish it, done.
Whoa.
He was talking so much shit. You know, I told you about the conservation issue.
Yeah.
This guy was like just bringing it up left and right. I'm like, I'm going to silence you.
Bringing what up exactly?
I don't want to get into it too much because I'm still dealing with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, basically, just one of my hunts was contested and did everything by the book, and they're trying to say that I didn't, which is not the case.
Just so you know, I come from a background of my dad had me hunting when I was 5-6 years old. So I mean, I've done it my whole life.
Yeah.
It's an incredible experience for people who haven't done it. They don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't fault people for not understanding it because it is a very out of this world experience if it's not your world.
Yep.
But once you do it, you understand what it really is.
Totally.
You quickly realize that the criticisms around it, almost all of them are false.
Yeah.
It's not true.
It's
so true.
Connects you to the food chain.
It's such a spiritual experience. Just even the act of hunting is almost all preparation.
Yep.
The stock, glassing, preparation in terms of if you're gonna be, going out in advance and figuring out where everything is, where's the herd, how's the movement, everything that goes into hunting. People think it's all you just go out and shoot something.
Yeah.
It's such a small fraction of a percentage of what actually happens when you're doing this activity that makes hunters laugh when people critique it in that way. But it is an amazing experience. It's not something that has been given a fair shtick, I think, especially in a place like social media where it's pretty much all entirely.
Well, my whole family's Métis. Like I'm from Canada. Like we hunt, fish, everything for ourselves. That's how we feed ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we don't go to the grocery store.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like that. Like I grew up literally. Oh, what's that? That's crazy.
I thought I turned that off.
Oh, is that your following count?
Yeah, it counts up in real time.
Damn, good job, dude.
Pretty sick. Thanks, man.
Legit, I love it. So, it's nuts. Something's going viral right now. That's fire. I need to give me one of those.
Yeah,
be more motivating.
Smurl. That's the name of the company.
Smurl.
Bad name, but they got a great product.
Sweet.
They're awesome.
I
got to get a couple of them.
So yeah, anyway, so like I do everything for like spiritual reasons myself. Like I've never ever killed an animal with a gun ever. It's all
archery.
My
man.
Yeah,
Me
all
too.
bow hunting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like for years, I just like helped support my family and like chop firewood, like go hunt animals and fill the freezer and nose to tail everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've never once wasted an animal. You'll never ever catch me doing that ever. Like everything, down to the scrapes. And I do a little ritual with the claws and like. I burn them and I do like my own little thing and like stuff like that. So it's all for me. I don't post about it, nothing. I might stand with a bow once in a while, you know what I mean? So I can get a free bow.
And you went on Cameron Haynes thing. He's doing it all the time. He's talking about it. He's prepping it. He's probably one of the most open, vigilant. I mean, you got Bomar. There's a few guys that are pretty open about their hunting habits and their tactics and everything. So
Ted Nugent.
Have you seen his stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, of course you have.
Yeah.
Pretty much the most outlandish and just hilarious man that I think I've ever seen. I've never met him. I would love to meet him, but it is very interesting. You have this big divide on the subject in the sphere of online influencers where some people embrace it, other people hate it. It's kind of hard to find people in the middle.
Yeah. I don't like posting hunts. Like I don't think that people should do that. Like I don't think it's right. But I think that there are certain voices that are deserving of that. Cam is 100% one of them. Joe Rogan's 100% one of them. What's that guy's name again? Warren. Demi Warren or something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Just do like an AI voice over my. Sorry, bro. I screwed up if you're listening to this. My bad. But he's a dude in Alaska. Like there's certain guys that deserve it, but I don't like that. Like there's a lot of people that are. It's like. I have my own opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Personally, I don't like it that like people are trying to become influencers by doing hunting content. You know, you shouldn't be doing it for that purpose. There's like a huge argument, of course, about trophy hunting and that it's actually good for the herds and such, right? But you know, I'm not
killing off the older, larger males to make way for the new generation, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But you know, for me personally, I don't trophy hunt. You know, that's not what I do. I hunt for food, and that's it. You know, I'm looking for old boars. I like to predator hunt because it helps the populations out. You know, in the right areas, hunting the right animals, doing your research in the area, like what's going on in those spots, like. It's all part of the process, you know, spending the real time, like not just taking the first kill, like looking at the options out there. You'll find them again, you know. That's how I like to do it, you know. I have the luxury of being able to have the time to be able to dedicate to that. A lot of guys, they get the tag and they got a like 10-day window, you know what I mean? But for me, I will have that 10-day window and I'll go out weeks in advance and be able to scope the area, meet the locals, figure out what's going on and stuff like that. So but it's like extremely spiritual for me when it comes to like my heritage and my people, and it's just cool, you know what I mean? It's a way of connecting with my native community, and that's what I love, you know. Especially like my last fight, like oh my god, like the whole tribe rolled up from Houston and came to my fight. Like I heard word that the chief was there. I don't know if that was, I didn't confirm that or not, and it's a woman, by the way. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I had word on the street that she was there watching my fight, and I came out in like a legit powwow and everything. Bro, it was legit. I will send you a screen recording to put it on there.
Oh heck yeah,
but
man.
it was sick.
And what
that
tribe
was part of the
is
whole,
this, the name?
Well, the tribe in the area.
Yeah.
I had to pull it up. I forget the tribe name. The tribe names are complex, but
I'm part Haida.
Okay, cool.
From Southeast Alaska.
Okay,
yeah.
No, legit. That's awesome. So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm Métis. So which is like, you know, the French came over to Canada and then they migrated with where I'm from originally, where I was born was Manitoba, so Cree. So, but yeah, my whole family lives in Yukon now. We moved there when I was younger, so.
It must have been an incredible experience living in such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's
well, my family's got over 200 acres in Whitehorse, Yukon. So like, and it pushes right up against the Yukon River. We have mushing dogs. We have horses. Like, it's incredible. It's the best experience you could ever have. You know what I mean? And like, I'm blessed to have, that, you know what I mean? But everything on, for people that hear that and think, oh, is this a trust fund kid? Absolutely not. Like, everything that I've ever built, everything I've ever had, I started from nothing. Same with boxing. I started with nothing. 2 left feet.
And you
now
started a year ago.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's incredible. I didn't know that coming into this. I thought boxing even predated your adventures. I had no idea. So you didn't have a background in combat sports, anything.
No, I had a background in working on the oil fields in northern Canada, and when you're out there completely secluded and like Newfoundland and Yukon and kind of bordering up against Alaska, and then in Alberta and in British Columbia, like there's nobody around except for guys like us, and guys like us know how to like get pissed off once in a while. You know what I mean? Especially when we're missing our wives and we're hungry and like we're living in camps neck to neck, getting pissed off, and it's minus 50 degrees Celsius out there. You start getting into some scraps. So that's where it kind of all started.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
That's where the dog came from.
And you've mentioned the aggression, you mentioned the demons, you mentioned the fact that boxing gives you this release.
Yeah.
And I'm sensing you've found ways of creating balance in your life.
Oh, for sure.
You have the spiritual tranquility of nature and the time out there, and then you have the intensity of the octagon, like going into a fight.
Yeah.
Has that just come with maturity of age?
Yeah, like I've been through a lot, you know what I mean? Like a lot of stuff that people don't realize. Everyone's fighting stuff. You guys have all been through some crazy shit in your life, It's just, the more you go through, the more you grow through, right? The good old saying. But I think there's like a lot of people that are adventurers, that if you guys are listening to this, where you're like hurting inside, and maybe like going out in the mountains or whatever is the reason why you actually, are doing that as your full-time job, because that's like, it's where you kind of feel like you have balance, But for me, like that only went so far, and boxing was that release for me. Like I could be spiritual, and I could open up, and I could love myself, and I found love for myself, and I love myself, and like not in a snobby way, and like a loving way. Like I protect my heart, like the world's, we're all fighting against gravity. Like I'm here just like trying to live in the mountains, be around my horses, be around my dog, be around my family, the friends, the people that actually, the corner that's really tight, that want to be there, and it's just like, we're all just kind of surviving, on this planet. But for me, like boxing just like it was something that I was able to like go back into like my childhood and the pain that I had as a child that I healed, but was still kind of there. It was able to just like lean on that and give that pain, an opportunity to like release,
give it a voice.
Yeah. And so like in training, it doesn't come out. It does not come out. In sparring, it doesn't come out. In arguments, it doesn't come out. It never comes out until like I get punched in the face, like with somebody really trying to hurt me, Then it's like, okay, we're working, stay calm. But like in my last fight, in that last round, it came out. Like I was just like, boom, like there it was. I was wondering where I was at. Like that was kind of the issue with my fight with Le'Veon. Like I was just, I was working through the moves. Like I came in with my little parade, and like all my people were there from Canada, flew in, and like, everyone's cheering. It's a great time. First round, he felt my power. Things were chill. Then I got tired because I was like, I threw up twice that day. Like it's not an excuse, but it happened. And I was nervous from the lights and all the sing song and dance. And then on the end of the fourth round, I started kind of getting my wind back, and I was like, okay, like it was just nerves. I went into a little bit of shock, went back in the corner, and one of my coaches was like, yo, you need to knock this fucker out. He's like, you need to like dive into that grizzly country guy that's in there and like bite down. The only way you're winning this fight is if you knock this guy out right now. And I was like, oh shit. Like, boom, everything just came into my head. You know what I mean? And that round, like, oh my God, if you watch that round, it's like, I dropped him twice in the round. Like I was pissed. Like I didn't care about anything, So it's like, it's still in there. And I try to channel that a little bit. So this fight, I'm gonna get that started a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's very, very similar to what a lot of the guys I was around in the NFL. It's the same thing they say, and they call it the same thing. They call it the dog. I mean, and they use that aggression, that anger for a reason, and it's. From an outsider's perspective, I think it's very hard to understand that for people who aren't involved in contact sports, especially. You are in a situation where a lot of times in your mind, you're actually trying to kill that person. Like, because he's trying to kill you. You're talking with the guys, especially who work on the offensive line, hearing them after training, coming in after a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'd come in and they would say, like, I honestly don't really remember much about the fourth quarter. I just remember how absolutely furious I had to get in order to survive it.
Yep. 100%.
And that's, very common.
I'm curious when it comes to boxing, who do you draw inspiration from?
Mike Tyson,
Okay.
all the way. Like, Mike is just, and it kind of, obviously it sparked with Rocky
Have you met
Balboa.
him?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. It will happen though. My
sure,
coach is really close to Tyson. My coach is BJ Flores, who challenged the cruiserweight title 3 times. He got robbed once. Like, I mean, he's one of the best commentators of all time. He's got an eye like a wizard. Like, the guy is just incredible boxer. He built Jake Paul. Like, Jake wouldn't be who he is without BJ locking in the way he did, connecting him to the people he connected to. He made him into a star. And I'm just blessed to just have him in my corner, let alone have him pushing me and helping me, connecting me. Like, I'm just blessed to have him, man. Like, so I also derive a lot of inspiration from BJ, like BJ Flores, 100%. Yeah. And guys like Jake Paul. Like, I was at Barber the other day. I just got a little lineup. And I hear these guys in there, they're all just talking shit about Jake, right? And I'm just like sitting back. I'm just like, I couldn't believe it. And I ended up getting in an argument with one of the guys at the barber. And he's like fucking losing his mind. He's like screaming at me and shit. Bet you don't fucking know nothing about boxing. I'm like, fool, you want to fucking find out right now?
I'm guessing did he have any idea who you were?
No, but some of the guys did. His barber knew, and a couple other guys, and so they were like, hey, you don't know who you're talking to, but it was, he was like all up on his high horse. But yeah, people don't realize Jake Paul is like the real deal, man. That kid can box like legitimately. And
he's trying for the Olympics, he said.
Oh yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but I hope he does it.
What do you say to the criticism that they give him though, that he hasn't actually fought a real contender in his weight class inside of boxing?
Yeah, of course. There's levels to the game. It's common sense. You know what I mean? He's making entertaining fights. People want to see the certain fights. Mike Perry is an incredible bare knuckle boxer. He just fought him. He showed what level he's at, right? So he's an incredible fighter, like, and he's still learning. That's what people are forgetting. He's the problem child. That's his whole brand. Create as much stir and problems as possible, right? That's hate me, Like, I think he said like one time it was like boo if you like it in the bum or something like that after his fight, and everyone was booing, and it was like some shit like that. I don't know what he said, but like it was funny as hell.
No one doubts his personality, and no one doubts his ability to sell out a show. He's an entertainer. He's incredible. Exactly. He is what The Rock did for WWE. Like, he creates this villain aspect to himself, and he is so funny and so talented. No one denies that. The critics, I think, just point to that point. Like, you're fighting how old is Tyson now? How old is he?
Something,
he's 56, 55.
Yeah,
Something you're fighting a 56-year-old god, but he's still 56.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be extremely entertaining. It's going to be the biggest show, the most numbers that they've ever seen in boxing.
Oh yeah.
So that's massive.
You think he'll win?
I think.
What's your prediction?
I think that it can go both ways. I think that if Mike gets inside, like, that power is not a joke. So I think that Jake can get knocked out, just like many guys got. Power is the last thing to go. So like Jake is taking a huge risk with that. But if he can stay long and he can outbox him, then I think that Jake will probably win by decision. I don't see a knockout going in Jake's favor. I think maybe a decision, but I think that Jake's in trouble with the inside game for sure. I mean,
love it.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Love that prediction.
But I think that it's going to be
comes true.
I think it's going to be a good fight. Like, I think it's going to be a great fight. Everyone's going to wonder what's going on. Like, where is Tyson at? And remember, when Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr., Mike was coming out of like a huge weight transformation and like a huge like lifestyle transformation where he was like getting back in shape, and then he went from like thick to shredded in like a year. But that was years ago. I think that fight was like in 2020, right? During the pandemic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 4 years of him absolutely shredded since. And then people are like, oh, well, he was in a wheelchair. It's like, are you kidding me? I was in a wheelchair multiple times in the last 4 years. I've bounced back and look at where I'm at. The fool was in a wheelchair, and now he's gonna go box. Like that tells you a mentality that nobody has, you know.
Oh, he's a
And-
killer.
Yeah.
Anybody who questions that doesn't know anything about the sport or him.
What I wonder though is because after that Roy Jones fight, he was like, I just don't have it in me anymore, man. Like I just don't have it in me anymore. But I'd love to do it again, but I don't have it in me anymore. So I don't know what came back, you know.
He's said several times, Tyson has said that he hems and haws over the idea of even letting it come back, because he says that when he starts, you've seen him on these interviews, I'm sure, where he says that if I start fighting again, if I start training, if I start tapping into that side of my mind, I become a very different person.
Yeah, he's
all the
scared
time.
of that person.
Yeah.
That person's evil. That person's dark. That person's like, he's a vicious killer. And it's true. People were terrified of that motherfucker. You know?
Still are, dude. He's the scariest guy ever.
That's the hardest thing with this sport, because like I'm like a nature lover, nature boy, adventure boy, right? And trying to promote that, you know, open up. You don't need to be biting down, like, but fuck it. Like I got that dog too, so like, you know what I mean? Like I love this shit. Like I actually like genuinely like I dumb my stuff down for social media so that it's like more inclusive for people. But like when I'm out there alone, like right after my fight with Le'Veon, I jumped on a flight and I flew right to Whitehorse, Yukon, and I spent 1.5 months in the outdoors, like completely alone. And then I jumped over to Alaska, and just like completely alone, like in the mountains, like doing my shadow boxing in the mountains, like, and it's just you're literally in bear country, you know. You're literally chopping trees down to be able to make a fire. Like you're literally, you know, cooking the fish that you're gathering, you know, or you're fishing. And so there's bears roaming around, and like, you know, it's like that's not like normal.
This needs to be a training montage.
I was gonna say there's got to be a video of this somewhere. This is outstanding.
I'm like lacking posting. I really need to start posting again. I've been like so indulged in training that I haven't been posting a lot, but I'm planning on like the next few weeks, especially leading into this fight, going to be showing a lot of stuff that I've been kind of hiding.
We should do some like what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Get your guys in here, do some recovery,
Oh,
make
for
some
sure.
content,
Oh,
like
for sure.
buzz around the fight. We'd
Yeah.
love to be a part of that.
By the
for
way,
sure.
you guys, this facility is insane. You know, the videos are cool, but like it's actually legit. Like it's as legit as it
Thanks,
comes.
buddy.
And it's got space. Like on the videos, it kind of looks like it's small, like it's like not a lot of room, but there's tons of room. And the coolest part about this place is that you don't know where you're at. You're like, I have no clue where I'm at right now. I could be like 10 feet underground, and we went down a staircase without me realizing. You know what I mean? The bathroom was actually an elevator. You know what I mean? Like I have no clue.
Yeah, it's quite a portal, isn't it?
It is a freaking portal. I love
All
it.
right, but we're gonna have to stop there.
Let's do it.
But hey, thanks for coming on,
Hey.
man. This will be the first of many. We'll do several, I'm sure.
Oh,
We'll do
let's do
several
it. I would love to come back
It's
on. Yeah,
sick,
thanks
man.
for having me, man.
Thanks for having on.
Appreciate you coming
Appreciate
in.
it.
Yeah, thank
Seriously.
you. I'll have to bring my coach in on the next one.
Oh yeah.
That'd be good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching that episode of Becoming the 1% Podcast. If you like the content and you want to see more of it, hit the like and subscribe. Activate that notification bell as well. We really appreciate it. If you guys want to see more of it, we actually have the Becoming the 1% Instagram, and the podcast is available on Spotify. For our socials, we have Strict Vision Athletics on Instagram, we have it on YouTube, and we have it on TikTok.